Ladies and gentlemen, today I come with a message not just to inspire, but to awaken your spirit and help you recognize the signs of God's divine hand moving in your life. Every believer's journey reaches a pivotal moment when God begins to shift the ground beneath them. It's as if He whispers, "It's time to go higher." Before He elevates you, though, He reveals certain signs to prepare your heart and align your steps. When God starts to elevate someone, it's never random or accidental. Everything is done with divine intentionality, guided by a purpose beyond human comprehension. Every elevation is a call to step into greater responsibility and a higher assignment that fits His kingdom's agenda. Before moving you to the next level, God ensures that you are prepared, not just in skill, but also in character and vision. This preparation often feels hidden and unnoticed by others, but it's essential. Elevation without purpose leads to confusion, and promotion without preparation leads to failure. God begins this process by clarifying your purpose. If you find yourself asking deeper questions about your life, questions like, "Why am I here?" or "What am I meant to do?" this is a clear sign of His work within you. These questions aren't born from curiosity, they're a divine stirring in your spirit. God is aligning your heart with His plans because He knows that each level of promotion comes with a demand for purpose-driven action. You are not elevated for applause or personal glory. You are elevated to fulfill an assignment. That's why the process often feels slow or even frustrating. God is not in a hurry because He is more focused on refining you than rushing you. He takes the time to equip you with the wisdom, patience, and humility necessary to carry the weight of the next level. When David was anointed to be king, he didn't immediately ascend to the throne. Instead, he spent years tending sheep and learning leadership in obscurity. This wasn't a delay, it was preparation. God was teaching him how to shepherd people by first shepherding flocks. If you feel stuck in a season of waiting, don't despise it. Waiting isn't wasted time, it's preparation time. God uses these seasons to cultivate the fruits of the Spirit within you: patience, kindness, faithfulness, and self-control. These qualities are essential for the next level because elevation without spiritual maturity can lead to pride and ultimately a fall. God knows what He's doing. He's shaping your character to match the assignment He has in store for you. Another essential part of preparation is the development of vision. Before God elevates you, He gives you a glimpse of where He's taking you. This vision may not come all at once, but it will ignite a sense of purpose and destiny in you. It will challenge you to think bigger, dream higher, and trust God more deeply. The vision won't match your current resources or circumstances because it's designed to stretch your faith. If what you see in your spirit feels impossible, that's a sign it's from God. He's preparing you to rely on His power, not your own. This preparation also involves pruning. Just as a gardener trims a vine to make it more fruitful, God removes the things that would hinder your growth. This may mean letting go of relationships, habits, or opportunities that no longer serve His purpose for you. Pruning is painful, but it's necessary. God knows what you need to leave behind in order to thrive in the next season. Trust the pruning process. It's a sign He's making room for new growth. During this time, God also aligns you with divine connections. He sends people into your life to mentor, support, and sometimes challenge you to grow. These connections aren't accidental. They're part of His plan to prepare you for elevation. Pay attention to those who enter your life during this season. Some will pour into you, while others will demand more from you. Both are necessary for your development. Finally, God tests your faithfulness in the small things before entrusting you with greater responsibilities. He watches how you handle your current tasks, even when they seem insignificant. Are you diligent with the little? Do you honor Him in the unseen moments? These tests aren't about performance, they're about character. God uses them to determine whether you're ready for the weight of the next level. When you begin to see these signs, clarity of purpose, pruning, new vision, divine connections, and tests of faithfulness, know that God is at work. He's preparing you for something greater than you could imagine. Elevation isn't about reaching a higher status. It's about stepping into a higher purpose. God isn't just promoting you, He's positioning you to be an instrument of His will on earth. Trust the process, embrace the preparation, and remain faithful. God's timing is perfect, and when He elevates you, it will change not just your life, but the lives of those around you. When God is preparing to elevate you, He often leads you through a season of pruning. A time when things that once seemed essential are stripped away. This process can feel unsettling, even painful, as you begin to lose relationships, opportunities, or comforts you once held dear. But understand this: pruning isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's God's way of removing what no longer serves your destiny so you can bear more fruit in the next season. Pruning is a divine strategy. A gardener doesn't prune a tree because it's unproductive, but because it has the potential for greater productivity. Branches that drain energy, limit growth, or no longer bear fruit are cut to make room for new, healthier branches. In the same way, God identifies areas in your life that may be holding you back. These might include habits, mindsets, or relationships that, while they served a purpose in the past, can't accompany you to the next level. This process often feels like loss, but it's actually gain in disguise. When God removes something, He's making room for something better. If you felt like things are being stripped away, opportunities are drying up, or doors are closing, it's not a sign that you've been abandoned. It's a sign that God is preparing you for abundance. Trust that what He takes away is meant to position you for greater fruitfulness. During pruning, you may also face challenges that test your character. God allows certain situations to refine your faith, shape your patience, and develop perseverance. The heat of the fire doesn't destroy gold, it purifies it. Similarly, the trials you face are meant to refine, not break you. God is shaping you into the person who can carry the blessings He's about to release. Letting go of people is often the hardest part of pruning. Some relationships are seasonal, meant to teach, challenge, or comfort us for a time. When their role is fulfilled, holding onto them can hinder progress. This doesn't mean they're bad or that you should resent them. It simply means God is calling you higher, and not everyone is meant to climb with you. Pruning can also reorder your priorities. Activities or commitments that once brought joy may feel like distractions. This is God's way of realigning your heart with His purpose. He's teaching you to prioritize the eternal over the temporary, and His will over your desires. Silence may also mark a pruning season. It may feel like God is distant, but He's at work. The silence isn't absence, it's strategy. God uses quiet times to deepen your trust and teach you to walk by faith. The discomfort of pruning is temporary, but the fruit it produces is eternal. God isn't just cutting for the sake of cutting. He's making room for growth. He's preparing you to receive abundance, walk in His fullness, and bear fruit that will impact others. Shift your perspective in seasons of loss. Trust the pruning process. Know that God's hand is shaping you for the next level, and the fruit that follows will exceed anything you imagined. Hold on, stay faithful, and trust the gardener. He's preparing you for a harvest of abundance. When you begin to feel as though the place you are in physically, emotionally, or spiritually no longer suits you, it's as if your spirit senses that something greater is calling you, even if your mind can't fully grasp it yet. This restlessness is divine, God's way of signaling that your current season has fulfilled its purpose, and it is time to prepare for what's ahead. You may notice that things that once brought you joy or fulfillment no longer provide the same satisfaction. The job that once excited you now feels routine. The relationships that previously energized you now seem out of sync with your spirit, and even your habits and routines may feel inadequate. This isn't because there's anything wrong with these things. It's because God is shifting your capacity, enlarging your vision, and preparing your heart for more. When this restlessness begins, it can feel confusing. You may wonder if you're being ungrateful for what you have or failing to appreciate your current blessings. Rest assured, this discomfort is not a sign of discontentment, it's a sign of divine movement. God is disrupting your comfort zone because He knows that growth and elevation require change. He is stirring the waters of your life so that you won't settle for less than His best. One reason this restlessness can feel so intense is that it challenges your sense of security. Humans naturally gravitate toward the familiar, even when it no longer serves them. The idea of stepping into the unknown can be intimidating, but God is calling you to trust Him more deeply. He uses this holy discomfort to loosen your grip on the familiar so that you can embrace the new thing He is doing. Remember, faith is not about staying where it's safe. It's about stepping out where only God can sustain you. During this season, you may find that your perspective begins to shift. What once seemed acceptable or good enough no longer aligns with the vision God is placing in your heart. You start to dream bigger and see possibilities you hadn't considered before. This is because God is expanding your territory, not just physically, but spiritually and mentally. He is giving you a glimpse of what is possible at the next level, and your current environment starts to feel too small for the vision He has placed within you. This restlessness often leads to a hunger for more of God. You may find yourself yearning for deeper intimacy with Him, a clearer understanding of His Word, and a greater alignment with His purpose. This spiritual hunger is a sign that He is drawing you closer and preparing your heart for the elevation to come. When you lean into this hunger and seek Him with all your heart, you begin to discover the direction and clarity you need for the next step. It's important to understand that this restlessness doesn't mean abandoning everything in a rush to escape discomfort. God's timing is perfect, and moving ahead of Him can lead to unnecessary struggles. Instead, this season is an invitation to seek His guidance, pray, fast, and listen closely for His voice. The restlessness is not a call to action just yet. It is a call to preparation. God wants you to be fully equipped for the new season He is bringing you into. You may also notice that this restlessness separates you from certain people or places. Not everyone will understand the shift happening in your spirit, and that's okay. This season is not about seeking validation from others. It's about obeying God's prompting. Some relationships and environments are tied to the old season, and holding on to them can hinder your progress. Trust that God will provide the right people and the right opportunities at the right time. Finally, recognize that this holy discomfort is a gift. It is a sign that God has not forgotten you and that He is actively working to bring His promises to fruition in your life. Embrace it, even when it feels challenging. Let it drive you to your knees in prayer, to your Bible for wisdom, and to the throne of God for strength. This restlessness is not the end of something, it is the beginning of something greater. As you yield to God's leading, you will find that the very things causing discomfort are the catalysts for your growth. Trust the process, lean into His presence, and prepare your heart for the new level He is calling. Your current situation may no longer fit your spirit because God is expanding you for something extraordinary. When God begins to elevate you, He often opens doors that are both exciting and intimidating. These new opportunities are a sign that you are stepping into a higher realm of purpose and influence. However, divine elevation rarely comes without challenges. In fact, the opportunities God places before you are often wrapped in the disguise of problems that require faith, courage, and wisdom to navigate. This is because God is not just interested in blessing you, He is interested in growing you. The opportunities He provides are not meant to make your life easier, but to stretch you into the person He has called you to be. Each open door comes with responsibilities, decisions, and sometimes even battles that test your readiness for the next level. It is in these moments that your faith is refined and your dependence on God deepens. One of the first things you may notice about new opportunities is that they often seem beyond your current capacity. You may feel unqualified or overwhelmed by the magnitude of what lies ahead. This is intentional. God will not call you to something you can accomplish in your own strength. If the opportunity feels too big for you, it's a sign that it is perfectly sized for Him. He wants you to rely on His wisdom, power, and provision to walk through the door He has opened. However, walking through these doors requires courage. Fear and doubt often try to creep in when you're standing on the threshold of something new. Thoughts like, "What if I fail?" or "What if I'm not ready?" can paralyze you. But remember this: God does not open doors that He hasn't already equipped you to walk through. The challenges ahead may be great, but the God who called you is greater. His word reminds us, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." These new opportunities also require wisdom. Not every open door is meant to be walked through, and not every challenge is meant to be tackled in the same way. This is why discernment is crucial. You must seek God's guidance in every decision, asking Him to reveal the steps you need to take. Sometimes the wisdom you need will come through prayer, the Word of God, or wise counsel from others. Be attentive to how God is leading you and don't rush ahead without His direction. Another thing to understand about divine opportunities is that they often come with opposition. The enemy is not pleased when God begins to elevate you, and he will do everything in his power to discourage, distract, or derail you. Challenges may arise in the form of criticism, unexpected setbacks, or even self-doubt. But take heart. Opposition is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's often confirmation that you're moving in the right direction. God uses these challenges to strengthen your resolve and sharpen your focus. In the midst of these challenges, it's important to maintain a perspective of faith. Instead of seeing problems as obstacles, begin to see them as opportunities for growth and breakthrough. Joseph, for example, was elevated to a position of great influence in Egypt. But his journey was filled with challenges: betrayal by his brothers, false accusations, and imprisonment. Each of these challenges could have been seen as setbacks, but in God's plan, they were stepping stones that prepared Joseph for his ultimate purpose. As you navigate these new opportunities, remember to celebrate small victories along the way. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Acknowledge God's faithfulness in the process and remain grateful for His provision. Gratitude has a way of shifting your focus from the challenges to the blessings, reminding you that God is with you every step of the way. Finally, understand that these opportunities are not just about you. God's elevation in your life is always tied to His greater kingdom purpose. The doors He opens are designed to position you to impact others, to be a blessing, and to glorify Him. The challenges that come with these opportunities are part of the testimony He is building through your life. So when you see new opportunities on the horizon, don't shy away from them because of the challenges they bring. Instead, step forward with faith, courage, and wisdom, knowing that God is walking with you. He has equipped you for this moment, and the very challenges you face will become the evidence of His power and faithfulness in your life. Trust Him, lean into His strength, and embrace the opportunities that come with the next level. That's when God begins to elevate you to the next level. One of the most significant signs is the alignment of divine connections. Elevation is not a solo journey, and God in His wisdom orchestrates relationships to guide, support, and even challenge you along the way. These connections are not accidental. They are strategically placed by God to help you navigate the new dimensions of purpose and responsibility He is calling you into at pivotal moments in your journey.